I came here 4.5 years ago, and even then, you know, I could tell what a great church this was. I also could tell it badly needed new facilities. The Contemporary Worship Center was crowded, and there was no place to gather, no place for people to visit. I mean, we were always trying to make sure that our times worked out, because if we were too late getting a service started, all the people who were going to come into the service, we had no place for them. They were just standing out in the halls and outdoors, and it was really stressful for the staff, just because we knew that when you put people in those kind of conditions, it makes it harder for them to come back, especially if they're new, if they're a visitor. And so we realized that as friendly as this church is, the facilities we have are a barrier for us in really reaching people and helping them feel at home here, helping them find a place to sit even. Some Sundays is difficult. And of course, over the last 4 years, we've grown substantially from there, so that there are Sundays where we're desperately trying to find a seat for somebody. And you'll have 3 or 4 people come in together, and it's difficult to figure out where you're going to seat them. You know, I've had people tell me that it's so crowded that it's difficult for them to feel comfortable and feel like they have a place here. I also know that because we don't have a central entrance, we have people, I mean, they wander up everywhere, you know, trying to find where they're supposed to go. You know, where is this happening, or where is that happening? And
I was invited to First United Methodist by my boss, actually. He sent me an email that there was a dinner on Wednesday nights and a Bible study. So I thought I'd try it out. I'd never been anywhere all by myself, especially to a church this large. And I walked right in, and Pastor John introduced me to people, and I came on Sunday that week. I met Pastor Blake, and from there it's just been a great journey.
It is painful to think of how many people get kind of lost simply because we don't have a place that's obviously marked for them to come in, or a place for them obviously to sit. We are completely out of space.
You know, I showed up actually down at the offices and walked in, and some woman was like, "Are you lost?" I'm like, "Isn't there a Bible study here tonight?" And she's like, "Oh, yeah. And she brought me down here and everything. And since then, I've kind of got to know my way around the church, but I'm still a little confused. I'm gonna be honest, I still don't know how to get up to the sanctuary from everywhere, every angle and whatnot. But I think it would be great if there was a more open atrium where everyone could get together. We could visit before and after services, and I really think that would bring a more sense of community to this church.
Our church has not historically been funded by a few people. Historically, our church has been funded by a large group of people who were willing to give sacrificially.
I don't even remember how old I was, probably 25, 26, moved to Jonesboro and joined the church. My husband and I married in this church, so we've seen a lot of changes in the church. Our children were baptized here, and we've been fairly active throughout those years here. The church is a foundation for our family through worship times together when the boys are home, women's Bible studies that I'm involved in, a lot of mission opportunities. Have just meant so much to our family to serve our church and our God that we do need to sacrificially give.
And I really see that happening in this campaign. Oh, we're going to have some people give very generously, and we already have had a number of people step up and give gifts far larger than I could give, or most of our church could give. But that's not going to be enough. We're going to need every person, every family in our church in giving sacrificially to this in order for us to accomplish all we need to do in this first phase.
John approached Pam and me about considering to be co-chairman for the building campaign, along with Dennis and Don Layer. It did not take long for Pam and I to agree, because we have been so richly blessed by our association with this church, and we're grateful for the church family that's here. We expect that this building will serve our community and will will act as a symbol in our community for a warm Christian environment. I ask each of you to join me in asking God what He wants to do through us.
First of all, just pray. Ask God, God, what is it you want me to do? I mean, where could I save some of my money so that I could give it to this program? Where could I cut my expenses in order to give more to the kingdom of God? One of the great things about a building campaign like this, you don't just build a building when you build something like this. You build a sense of ownership in the community.
Well, I believe that our church building does serve as a symbol in this community that is an area or is a facility where you can come and be received into this church family. One that will allow us to meet and greet other members of our church family that attend the many different services that we provide here.
I got baptized here. My parents went here before I was born, and ever since I can remember, I was every Sunday getting dressed, going to Sunday school. I remember in 6th grade having Mr. Herringer, and I remember hearing about him in 5th grade, and everyone was like, "Oh, you're gonna have Mr. Herringer, and he's been teaching forever, and he taught so-and-so's parents, and he taught my mom." I'd like to know some people that go to other services. I go to Elevation, and I'd like to know some other people in the church that go to other services, and maybe the new building project will provide me with an opportunity to do that. I'm really excited about the building project, and a lot of kids at youth are talking about it too, and we're really anxious to see where it can take our church, because we're going to be the ones growing up in it.
This church has just always been a home. It's always been a place where, I can really feel comfortable to come talk to anyone, come worship on Sundays, studies on Wednesday nights. A lot of my childhood memories are here at the church, from Halloween parties, the fall festivals, to Easter egg hunts when I was real little, the old gong show that we used to have. When I think about it, or when I think of stuff going on at the church, or me coming up, when Sunday rolls around, I get real excited inside. I just start thinking, I can't wait to get to youth on Sunday night to see the kids and Jeff and help everybody, or I can't wait to talk to Blake about, college ministry that we're trying to build up right now. People from out of town or new members to the church, they want to feel welcome. They want to feel comfortable. And I think a big open setting like that is going to be really good. That feel that, they don't have to work their way around to find where they're going or what they're supposed to do.
Not only are we able to grow, but First Christian also. First Christian's going to have a new church, and we're going to help build that. In some ways, it's a win-win. We get the space we need to grow, and they get an opportunity to be reborn. I'm looking forward to seeing them when they build their building, just to drive by and say, we're a part of that church too. The other great thing about the purchase of First Christian is it allows us to financially afford to do everything we're going to do. We can build the kind of worship center and fellowship center we need, while at the same time adding to our Sunday school and fellowship space in the First Christian facility. We can use that facility while we're paying off our first phase, which gives me a lot of confidence that financially we'll be able to do this without sacrificing space or needed Sunday school areas. So to me, the purchase of First Christian was such a tremendous win-win for not just for First Methodist and First Christian, but I really think for the whole downtown area. It's going to create another anchor for our whole community.
Well, I'm sort of like David, King David in 2 Samuel 24:24. He was going to buy a plot of ground where he could build an altar to the Lord because he was thankful for a battle he had won. And he said, the man said, "I'll give you this land since you're the king." And he said, "I don't want you to give me the land. I would not offer God anything, a sacrifice that did not cost me anything." So I think that we should be giving sacrificially. I believe in giving sacrificially. I want to serve the Lord, and I think this is what this is all about, is serving the Lord.
Every person who gives sacrificially to this, when they drive by in 10, 15, 20 years, they'll say, "You know what? I helped build that. that's a church that I invested my time, my prayers, my money in. And it's going to mean a lot more to the people who give to this program and this facility than simply building a building. It will mean being a part of something wonderful in our community and for the cause of Christ.
I can see growth, so much growth with so many people, and that we have such a need for new space. And I look forward to being a part of it. I just get excited. I can't wait to see what God's going to do through all of us.